Happy Memorial Day. This is our weekend vlog. So, very busy weekend. We had 3 days, which was pretty awesome. So, I'm going to try to do a quick tour to show what the updates are. Got a little palm nursery going here. Got some comfrey, which, if you don't know about comfrey and you're interested in organic gardening, it is a nitrogen fixer, which means it's a dynamic accumulator. It pulls its own nitrogen. So you can plant this with plants, chop it, and as it decomposes, it puts nitrogen in the ground. So I'm trying to get as much comfrey as possible. So far I have 5 of them. I'm going to try to propagate this as much as I can. Nothing exciting with the potting bench, other than the fact that it's really useful. All right, so this is a big one. So we spent a lot of the weekend working on the newly designed, more permanent shade house structure. So it's more of a gazebo. There's going to be two foot benches on either side. So there'll be another 2 foot bench over here. The back wall is going to be closed, and it will look like this, where it will have the fencing material with a lot of mounted stuff. The entire thing will be shaded on these 3 sides, and this side will be completely open. So there will be 2 4 foot benches in the center. This should work out pretty nicely. Just finally ran out of steam this weekend on this, but got most of the way there. Really, just at this point, the hard work is done. It'll be pretty easy at this point. But this is a little bit of a construction zone. This is a pretty cool area. I don't think I've showed this too much, but this is sort of the native plants, or the stuff that I just find that I kind of yank out of the ground. So these are tropical almonds I found out. I planted maybe 7 or 8 of these. I yanked these out of the ground. There was about 1,000 of them down by the beach, but 5 of them have taken and look really healthy, really good. This guy, I don't know what it is still, but it's rooting out pretty nicely. This is yellow ginger of some sort. I don't really think it's yellow ginger, but that's what somebody told me it's called. But that's not doing anything yet. Onto the vegetable garden. A lot of activity. The tomatoes, these are the cherry tomatoes on this end. They've probably quadrupled in size since last week, so they finally have started to take off. Some of the other tomatoes, there's 4 different types of tomatoes. This patch is doing pretty well. These are monsters. Those are cherry tomatoes also, so in the pots, so there's, I think, probably 15 of them, maybe 12 of them. These guys are also tomatoes, but not doing quite as well, so I'm not really sure why. So, and these are the 4th variety, and these guys are doing pretty well. We finally started to see flowers on some plants, namely these are pickling cucumber, and we have a lot of flowers coming out on these guys. So I don't know if we have any little baby cucumbers forming, but it's pretty cool. Anything else? The corn doesn't look too fantastic. I'm under the impression that corn is a heavy feeder. We haven't fed anything. So I'm thinking that may be why that's not super happy. This bed, the lemongrass is doing really well. Sweet potato. We've got some jicama, a bunch of different things, Swiss chard, a lot of different kales, some beets right there. These are soybeans, some chili peppers, which are finally starting to have some life to them. A lot of this stuff really just in the last 5 or 6 days finally started to get some life to it. The lettuce in this bed is not doing fantastic, but I'm going to talk about that. We sort of, I'll get back to the lettuce in a second. And then these onions have finally started to really have some personality and take off. So doing well. This bed right here, I've thrown some old logs in here. I'm going to make a hugel bed here, or a hugel mound, I guess, but throwing in some old stumps. I'm going to cover that with a little bit of mulch, put some soil over it, and that should be a really good bed for a long time. We made a new bed here This has got a couple of old logs in the bottom, some very decomposing logs. Topped it with some mulch, and then topped that with some soil, some good store-bought soil. So this is not, other than this area here, there's a little bit of lavender, a couple of herbs on this side, and there's one single seed potato at the end. But other than that, we haven't planted this out yet. We have a lot of stuff that will go in here though. This is like the really cool bed right now. This was originally a ginger bed, so that's arrowroot. This is ginger, and these are turmeric there. And I thought there was one more baby turmeric, but not seeing it a second. But what I decided to do was plant out a ton of radishes. The radishes grow insanely fast. We've been harvesting radishes that we planted 3 weeks ago from seed, and so my thought is these radishes can go in there. We'll harvest them within probably 7 or 8 weeks. They'll be nice full-size radishes, and then we'll it won't disturb anything with the ginger, which will then start to get big. It's insane with radishes. This radish, which has got a little bit of personality right now, I planted these from seed 6 days ago. I think I did it last Tuesday. Today is Monday. So this is from seed that they're already little sort of starting to establish ginger or radishes. So stevia, we have some, these are Jacob's cattle beans, and then another bed here of radishes. We're going to start planting a lot of radishes. We've got our dragon fruit, but the pineapple, finally planted the pineapple in the ground. This is a loquat. That is a coffee plant, an avocado plant. So we did a lot of planting this weekend, stuff that we have been waiting on. So we established the dimensions for this bed as well. And what we're trying to do is keep this as a driveway. This is a driveway that will come from the street up here. So if we ever have to bring machinery in to deal with this, we can. This is a new purchase. This is a brown turkey fig. This is the most mature tree we've planted. This was, we just love figs. So as many figs as we can get in here. And even if it doesn't fruit because it's too warm here, which I don't think is the case, it's still going to be a beautiful tree. This is really the only tree we put in the ground that's not doing well is this, and this is the curry. This is the Indian curry leaf. And I don't know if that's how it's supposed to look. I don't know if it's in shock. I don't know what's going on, but calamondin lime, which is spectacularly delicious. This is a Rollinia, a new banana. Finally, well, it's not new. We had it for a week, but we finally planted it. So we've got 5 bananas, 2 which are hopefully close to flowering size. But we're going strong with the bananas. Up here, dug up. I don't think I did any digging this weekend, so that. Well, maybe I did. Maybe it's been a long weekend. It's the end of a 3-day weekend, but I found more tires. So the intention here, we're not going to plant this front yard out for a while, probably for a year or 2. We want to get the food established, and then this front yard will probably be a little bit more ornamental. So this is a pumpkin patch. These are pumpkins, kind of made a little raised bed, and we're just going to experiment. It doesn't really matter what happens, but we're hoping that this whole area just gets filled with pumpkins, and we have something to eat and something fun and cool to play with. Butterfly, I don't know if you caught that on camera. All right, so speaking of butterflies, one of the things that we want to do is we want to get as many flowers in here as possible to just attract insects, birds, pollinators as much as we can to say they pollinate our vegetables and give us delicious food. So we kind of went nuts with planting out seeds over the weekend. So these pots represent many hundreds of seeds that were planted. So couple of different things. This is sunflower seeds. So I bought a pack of sunflower seeds and planted an entire tray. And the intention of this is these are mammoth, so apparently they get 12 feet tall. So I want to take those when they start sprouting out and use this as like a community pot and put all of those in this bed right here. So there's just this kind of central place with massive amounts of flowers to attract insects. Additional to that, we planted a ton of things like zinnia, amaranth, and different poppy, different flowering plants, just to have flowers in the yard and have things to attract insects. The other thing is, and this was me getting back to my lettuce comment, I sort of feel like we're under indexing on how much lettuce we actually need, because I think we're going to lose some lettuce. So what we're starting to do is get into this mentality. So here's another lettuce bed. So we have a lettuce bed here and then a little lettuce bed there. But the mentality, I think, is we want to be as self-sustaining, self-sufficient as we can food-wise. So my thought is we start planting massive amounts of seeds, and when these seeds will grow here and be established in the pots, and when we harvest plants, so for example, these radishes right here, we harvest these radishes, and when we harvest these radishes, there's a spot there, and we put something else in there. We just rotate. So in there we would put whatever, I don't know, lettuce, and then these right here are these are jicamas, yam beans. These are jicama. So those jicama is going to take a long time, but when we do harvest the jicama, we take the jicama out, and we have plants here waiting that are 6 months old or 4 months old that already have a good root system. We throw those in, and we're ready to rock and roll. So we have constant rotation of plants. So that's where we are. It was a really fun weekend, pretty tiring, but very fun and pretty productive. So thank you for watching and tuning in, and if you have any questions or comments, slap them on there. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, and see you next week.